Alright, hello, welcome back, and so last time I said, oh, let me take off my ring so I don't get stuff all over them. Last time I said I like having like tiny little books to draw in. If you're in California, you can go to Daiso. It's like a Japanese dollar store, and they have these. They're like little study cards. I think I got this one in like a 2-pack or something, and it was like $1.50 because everything there is $1.50. If you don't have anything like this, you can go to CVS or like Walgreens or whatever drugstore and just get little notebooks. It'll probably be like the little ruler or ruled lined books or whatever, but just having something this size is really convenient because you can always have it with you. I mean, again, I said that this is a way that I sort of manage stressful situations, so I'll sit somewhere and I'll just whip it out, and like on the train, I'll just sort of, focus on, you know, instead of saying, oh my god, I'm surrounded by people, I'll be like, oh, look at her cool hair, I'll try and capture that, and I'll be like, oh look, that's where that is, and so that's sort of what I'll do, being on a bus again, just sort of focusing on, oh, what's the angle here, how am I gonna make that work. So I guess it is kind of like a coping tool. Let me not show you all the bad drawings, but again, I sort of, well, I mean, even this one isn't so great. It's just kind of, bleh, but just the process of sitting there putting lines on paper, I remember how stressed out I was in this moment, and this is not energy wasted, this is energy transferred. So just, be patient with yourself, don't expect masterpieces. I've been just farting around doing this for probably way too long, and I'm still learning. If you approach it with that attitude that, every day you're going to be learning, you're going to learn, you're gonna discover new things to do. Like this, I saw one of the classes that I worked at, art classes, the teacher had a very traditional method of sort of knocking in the figure and then putting a very, very, very strong black background behind the figure to sort of, make the figure pop out and then the space fall back. That's a major thing you can do, because all of these light areas, they pop right out and then the dark pops right back. So anyways, I'm not supposed to be flashing my trash today, I'm supposed to be actually sitting here drawing with you. So we're gonna do that and just focus on tiny books. It doesn't have to be this small. For some reason, I discover a lot of people are intimidated by drawing this small. I don't know why. It just is. So I'm just gonna take a pen here, and let's see, what am I gonna do? Usually, actually, I start with a lighter color. I'll just sort of scribble and figure out what I'm doing. And I'll say, okay, well, I'll just do this. It can be sort of nonsense shapes, whatever. What am I doing? Let's see. I'll just, maybe I'm making a figure. We'll see. Who knows? I don't know yet. Yeah, I guess that's a figure. Whatever that is. You can really scribble with it. Take your time, but not too much time. Don't overthink it. Again, be conscious of the way that you're holding whatever you're using to draw. See this? I'm just sort of really loose with it still. Don't cramp up and say, oh gosh, what am I doing? Because that's going to just stress you out and you're going to get cramps. And it's not going to be fun for anybody. So yeah, I'll just sort of mask that in. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It's sort of an arm there, and then this little face is forming down there. So okay, I'll move on to my next color. I'll sort of use this for the shadows and whatever. again, if you want to stick to something more abstract, that's totally fine. Whatever you feel inspired to draw, I'm just sort of demonstrating my process so you can, take it or leave it, my advice. That's the other thing too. Nobody knows better than you what sort of art you're gonna like creating, what sort of art you should be creating. So don't go seeking gurus or, art gods to tell you what you should be doing, what supplies you should be buying, because none of that really matters. All that really matters is that, it makes you happy, you feel like it, you have some sort of form of expression, and don't focus so much on what you're creating in the early stages. Just really focus on how you feel when you create it, because there's a lot of artists that aren't so technically good artists. Like, they have funny proportions, or things that they're not so strong at, but yet their art works, and even people who don't understand art can say, oh wow, that's really speaking to me. And I'm going to sort of take a water brush. These pens you can find anywhere. I think I found these at Staples. These came in a giant pack with like a bunch of colors. I usually just don't focus too much on the color because I'm not that great with color. I'll just say I'll pick a light one and I'll pick a dark one so that there's some form of contrast. You can do that with like warm tones and cool tones. So if you have like a blue and a yellow, an orange and a purple, don't let anybody tell you that orange and purple can't be in the same drawing, by the way. And just sort of, to give it more dimension. And I'll take water and just sort of wet that down, fill that in. This paper isn't the greatest. It's not ideal for this sort of wet media, but it is what it is. This is what I have to work with today, so we're gonna do that. And let's see, I'll take an even darker color and sort of, how am I gonna do this? Let's see, I'm gonna knock that back. And that's the other thing too, I feel like a lot of drawing, in this sort of style anyway, is sort of focusing on how to make something that is two-dimensional, like this piece of paper, be more three-dimensional. So, make it seem like this is a form instead of just a flat bunch of lines. You don't have to focus on this today, of course, but this is what I'm doing. I'm just sort of not even thinking about it. I'm just saying, oh, I'll fill this in, I'll do that, and whatever. Let's see. Maybe I will create something right there. And go back with this. It doesn't have to look like anything right away, or if ever. It can just sort of be a jumble of lines. Just really, this isn't the best drawing I've ever done, and but I don't ever want to make the best drawing I've ever done at 26, so that would suck. What kind of feeling would you have if you did your best work right away and then it was all downhill from there? So always focus on what you can improve, but just also accept that sometimes you're gonna have drawings that kind of are like this one. Not my favorite, but hey, it is what it is. Had fun making it. Okay, so I guess I'll stop right here, and since I said that graphite stresses me out, I think that's what I need to work on next. So that should be mighty fun. Yeah, I'll just leave this one shorter, and yeah, see you next time, guys.